It's a very serious violation. I'll ask Elon Musk to say a few words, and we'll take some questions. Elon, go ahead.
Sure. So at a high level, if you say what is the goal of Doge, and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, are we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, we would have to, if you sorry. So, I tell you, gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, or if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy, we live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy. This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you asked the
But if you ask the Democrats what democracy is, I guarantee you'll get a different answer. Because the democracy for the Democrats just means their continued corruption that they want to keep going. It's not what Elon Musk just said. Because they don't care about what Elon Musk just said. What Elon Musk just said was common sense. Democracy, threat to democracy is a threat to their process, the Democrats' process.
Looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want. And it does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And then we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense. But if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional.
What a great point to stop on. And yeah, I was looking to see if my maps updated, and it did not update inside of what do you call Google? Apple Maps for Gulf of America. But what a great point. I want to just stop here right now because this is where you do need to have businessmen involved when it comes to the money, because he's telling you right now that where we're heading is in a bad direction if we keep this spending going and we just let all these type of things happen that are just throwing money out the window. He's like, listen, our debt is almost exceeding the, what's going on in the Department of Defense. Like, we're at a very bad road if we don't figure this out. And so Democrats knew this while they were in office, right? And I think Trump's first time in office, I just think that this might have just been so over his head because he was focusing on so many other things that he was he did make it a thing to go after the budget, and then COVID happened, right? The vid happened. But I think now he's so much more intentional. We have to get this under control. Biden did not care anything about what Elon Musk is saying. But we do as Americans. We care about this. And so the fact that he's saying that we're like our interest is that crazy is concerning to me as a citizen. We have to fix it. It's like any other money situation. You got to audit yourself. You got to audit these places. We have to figure out a way to stop printing money, number one. How can we bring more money in? And then also, how can we not shoot ourselves in the foot when it comes to this debt? Because it only is going to climb. I'm sorry, but I just had to say that. That was a really good point that Elon Musk just made.
keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt.
And also, could you mention some of the things that your team has found, some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about $30 million?
What?
Et cetera?
Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened at USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But there seems to be mysteriously they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense. That's the honest truth of it. So, we're looking at, if you look at, say, Treasury, for example, basic controls that should be in place, that are in place in any company, such as making sure that any given payment has a payment categorization code, that there is a comment field that describes the payment.
Right.
And that if a payment is on the do not pay list, that you don't actually pay it. None of those things are true currently. So the reason that departments can't pass audits is because the payments don't have a categorization code. It's like just a massive number of blank checks just flying out the building. So
Oh, man, they are going to hate Elon Musk. They are hating this man because he is actually diving down and telling us what is exactly happening. Not he say, she say stuff. He is saying that there are payments going out to unidentified people, and that is concerning. Why are we flying millions of dollars out of the place and we don't know who this is going to? He's saying that people's net worths are going up. It's quite odd to see people's net worth going up. And this is why they don't want Elon Musk doing these things. This is why they're trying to pin it as he's trying to harm the government. No, he is not trying to harm the government. He is telling the American people exactly what's going on. And he's even, I think one point in this interview that I heard him say is, hey, we may make mistakes and we will make sure we will correct them as quickly as possible. He's like, but when we find stuff like this that are concerning, I bring this up to the president of the United States. So everybody out there that's up there thinking that, well, Elon Musk is shutting this down and doing that. No, Elon Musk is just going through the paperwork and seeing the things that have already been spent. All right.
Sensational.
So getting mad at Elon Musk for finding things that they've already done is dumb. That's almost like getting mad at your girlfriend because she went and slept with her ex. Well, getting mad at the boyfriend because your girlfriend went and slept with the ex. No, you need to be mad at your girlfriend because she's the one with you and y'all have direct communication. You need to be mad at them first, right? Yes, he's still a scumbag, but you need to deal with her. The Democrats are basically trying to do the same thing. They're trying to hop over the real problem and say Elon Musk needs to be stopped. No, you guys need to stop spending money frivolously and also sending it out to unidentified people and committing fraud and doing really dirty things with our taxpayer money. This is what the problem is. Elon Musk is not doing anything bad. He is literally going through there with the magnifying glass and saying, oh, a couple months ago, you guys were spending money on this, this, and this. Can you guys answer these questions? What is this payment going to? Interesting. I'm going to take a quick break so I can read your comments. So Elon is literally looking under their skirts. This, you know what? This is very satisfying.
Sensational.
It's very satisfying to know that he's finding these things and that he's finding them so quickly. And the only concerning part to me, and I said this on my last live stream, was that they're just getting started. They haven't even gotten into the big budgets, the Department of Defense and everything else. They said that US aid or USAID was only 0.7% of the budget. And they found all of that garbage in there. Satisfied, but also concerned. Because I'm like, yo, can he find everything? Because he's not going to be able to find everything. But I'm like, man, can he find everything? And of course, they're going to try to shut him down every way he goes. I'm like, man, we need to find these things out. So I'm sorry. Let me continue this, man, because listening to Elon is pretty good. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. So I don't want to hold this whole thing up unless y'all want to hear it. I mean, I'm okay with just doing this.
You can't reconcile blank checks. You've got comment fields that are also blank, so you don't know why the payment was made. And then we've got this truly absurd, a do not pay list, which can take up to a year for an organization to get on a do not pay list. And this, we're talking about terrorist organizations, we're talking about known fraudsters, known aspects of waste, known things that do not match any congressional appropriation. It can take up to a year to get on the list, and even once on the list is not used. It's mind-blowing. So what we're talking about here, we're really just talking about adding common sense controls that should be present, that haven't been present.
Absolutely.
So you say, like, well, how could such a thing arise? That seems crazy. When you understand that really everything is geared towards complaint minimization.
So everybody peep how a billionaire looks at money, right? As he's talking, yes, I'm listening, but I'm also thinking, okay, this is how he probably handles his personal finances and everything else. Listen to how simple he is when he's talking.
Then you understand the motivations. So if people receive money, they don't complain, obviously. But if people don't receive money, they do complain. And the fraudsters complain the loudest and the fastest. So
say it again, Elon. I'm going to come with the horn.
And the fraudsters complain the loudest and the fastest. So then when you understand that, then it makes sense. Oh, that's why everything just, they approve all the payments at Treasury. Because if you approve all the payments, you don't get complaints. But now we're saying that, no, actually, we are going to complain. If money is spent badly, if your taxpayer dollars are not spent in a sensible and frugal manner, then that's not okay. Your tax dollars need to be spent wisely on things that matter to the people. I mean, these things, like, it's just common sense. It's not draconian or radical, I think. It's really just saying, let's look at each of these expenditures and say,
my bad. Let me wait for this to finish up. So, I mean, seriously, is Elon Musk saying anything that is super crazy at this moment? I mean, the video's been going on for about 7 minutes, and he hasn't said nothing ridiculous, man. I mean, the dude is just saying, I'm looking through the paperwork and I'm looking for common sense things. Who's it getting paid to? Who's receiving money? Are you on a do not pay list? Why don't you have this? Just certain things that he probably has set up in his company that he's like, why are you guys running it like this? And then he's probably trying to get answers, and he's probably not getting any answers from the people that are running it, because this has probably been going on for so long that Elon Musk is literally messing up their flow.
Is this actually in the best interest of the people? And if it is, it's approved. If it's not, we should think about it. So, there's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security. And we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't. Okay.
No.
They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. So, that's a case where, like, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous, one of the two. And then there's a whole bunch of Social Security payments where there's no identifying information. Well, like, why is there no identifying information?
Wow. How is this a problem? How can the Democrats don't get it, man? They are so out of touch. They are on the wrong side of history. They should be trying to work with Elon Musk and his team so that they don't look guilty. How did people are getting paid that are 150 years old and payments being paid out to people that they don't know who's getting the money? Why wouldn't you say that these are problems? Why would you fight him? Why would you fight his team? All of y'all look guilty. Man, Twilight Zone coming up, man. Make sure you hit the like button as well, man. Please take me up to like 20 right now. Right now, y'all got me in the low area. Can y'all take me up a little bit?
Obviously, we want to make sure that people who deserve to receive Social Security do receive it, and that they receive it quickly and accurately. I'll tell you another crazy thing. So, one of the things is like we are trying to sort of right-size the federal bureaucracy, just make sure that this obviously there needs to be a lot of people working for the federal government, but not as many as currently. So we're saying, well, okay, well let's if people can retire, with full benefits and everything, that would be good. They can retire, get their retirement payments, and everything. And then we're told, this is actually I think a great anecdote because we're told the most number of people that could retire possibly in a month is 10,000. We're like, well, why is that? Well, because all the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And like, what do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork. And you look at a picture of this mine. We'll post some pictures afterwards. And this mine looks like something out of the 50s because it was started in 1955. So it looks like it's like a time warp. And then the speed, the limiting factor is the speed at which the mine shaft elevator can move determines how many people can retire from the federal government. And the elevator breaks down sometimes, and then nobody can retire. Doesn't that sound crazy? There's like 1,000 people that work on this. So I think if we take those people and say, like, you know what, instead of working in a mine shaft and carrying manila envelopes to boxes in a mine shaft, you could do practically anything else, and you would add to the goods and services of the United States in a more useful way. So
less government.
Anyway, so I think that's an example. Like at a high level, if you say like, how do we increase prosperity? Is we get people to shift from roles that are low to negative productivity to high productivity roles, and so increase the total output of goods and services, which means that there's a higher standard of living available for everyone. That's the actual goal.
You can tell Trump want to speak, but this is why you hire certain people like Elon Musk, man. This is why if anybody's in business or have to hire or work with someone. This is why you want someone like an Elon Musk. You kind of want someone that is passionate about what they're doing because it comes off so effortlessly and it comes off so easily. And this is why you would want someone like him to do that, because then he goes to Trump and he basically just says, we just need you to make a decision. And based on your decision, we'll roll with it, whether you want to keep it or not. But here's what we got. And then you trust someone like this because they've taken the time to actually perfect it. So this is why I think Trump and Elon will work. Obviously, he likes to talk, but, so does Trump.
Your detractors, Mr. Musk, including a lot of Democrats.
I have detractors?
You do, sir.
I don't believe it.
Say that you're orchestrating a hostile takeover of government and doing it in a non-transparent way. What's your response to that criticism?
Well, first of all, you couldn't ask for a stronger mandate from the public. The public voted. We have a majority of the public voting for President Trump. We won the House, we won the Senate. The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. And a lot of times, that people that don't get what they voted for in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for, and that's what democracy is all about.
Mr. Musk, the White House says that you will identify and excuse yourself from any conflicts of interest that you may have. Does that mean that you are, in effect, policing yourself? What are the checks and balances that are in place to ensure that there's accountability and transparency?
Well, we actually are trying to be as transparent as possible. In fact, we post our actions to the Doge handle on X and to the Doge website. So all of our actions are maximally transparent. In fact, I don't think there's been, I don't know of a case where an organization has been more transparent than the Doge organization. So, and the kind of things we're doing are, I think, very, very simple and basic. They're not, what I mentioned, for example, about Treasury, just making sure that payments that go out, taxpayer money that goes out, is categorized correctly, that the payment is explained, that organizations on the do not pay list, which takes a lot to get there, that actually are not paid, which currently they are paid. These are not individual judgment decisions. These are about simply having sensible checks and balances in the system itself to ensure that taxpayer money is spent well. So it's got nothing to do with, like, say, a contract with some company of mine at all.
But if there is a conflict of interest when it comes to you yourself, for instance, you've received billions of dollars in federal contracts when it comes to the Pentagon, for instance, which the president, I know, has directed you to look into.
Yeah.
Are you policing yourself in that? Is there any sort of accountability check and balance in place that would provide any transparency for the American people?
Well, all of our actions are fully public. So if you see anything, you say, like, wait a second, hey, Elon, that seems like maybe that's, there's a conflict there.
All right.
It's not like people are going to be shy about saying that. They'll say it immediately.
Including you yourself.
Yes.
All right, I got really into it, man. I might have to either react to this or just watch it, man. It's pretty interesting to watch these two kind of go at it and not at it, but go, work together. You know, my final thoughts on this before we move to the next one is that, you know, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way inside as well. You know, Elon Musk he's doing the right thing. He's gonna get painted as the new villain, right? He's gonna be the bad guy to Trump, right? He's gonna be, oh my gosh, Trump is doing this and Elon's even worse, and you know, you're gonna have a bunch of, I guess I'll say, broke people, low level people that want to call Elon Musk something. They want to say that he's going after your social security number and he wants your personal information and he wants to get rich off of this. And I'm like, this man is worth $300 to $400 billion. The man, he's not a very flashy person. So I don't really think that this man really wants our money that much. And I think he's making a whole lot of money from Tesla, X, and everything else. I think that it's really funny that when someone actually comes to correct the government that we've been complaining about forever, they're complaining. The Democrats are complaining. And this is not the side of the fence that you want to be on. Because if most of Americans voted for, like you said, a governmental change, we voted for corruption to be out of the government and to stop this frivolous spending, to watch Democrats raise their hand and scream in the streets, it really makes you guys look very bad. And we're all looking at you guys with the eyebrow up like, so this is the game that you guys have been playing, because you weren't doing this 4 years ago. You weren't kicking and screaming 4 years ago. You were fine. You were good. You were letting all this stuff happen. All of a sudden now, it's a problem because you got someone going through doing an audit on what you have already spent. Can you imagine me going through your bank statement and saying, all right, man, you've been eating a whole lot of Chick-fil-A. You know, when are you going to lay off the Chick-fil-A? You're going to get mad at me for pointing out the fact that you went to Chick-fil-A 30 times in a month? You're mad at me for pointing out what I see? That's what Elon Musk is doing. So, you know, I love it. And again, I'm satisfied knowing that he's doing it. I hate that they're trying to block him through the court system and do all these things. But I love the fact that they are trying to figure out what's going on in this system because, man, we are tired. We are tired of this government. And again, I love Trump because, man, I don't know if we can have another Trump, bro. I don't know if we can. Somebody that's not corrupted, somebody that's a billionaire that just really wants to do right by the people. This is hard, man.